Hello students, good morning. Today I am continuing the lesson Materials, Metals and Non-Metals. In this lesson, yesterday I have taught the physical characteristics of the metals and examples for the metals. And in my today's class, I am explaining about the physical characteristics of the non-metals. The physical characteristics of the non-metals are listed like this. The first one is the non-metals are mostly found in the nature in gaseous state, or some of them are found in the liquid state. And second is non-metals are not shiny. Almost all the non-metals are not shiny, not lustrous, not lustrous. And third one is after hammering. That means after beaten with a hammer, non-metals they turns into the powder state or turns into crystalline form. They never turns into the form of wire or in the form of the thin sheets. When the non-metals are hammered, they turns into the crystalline form or the powder form. And the fourth physical characteristic is the non-metals are not sonorous. The non-metals when beaten or hammered, the non-metals they doesn't produce the sound. But while studying the metals, what we have studied is most or almost all the metals are the sonorous. They makes the sound. But non-metals, these are not sonorous. Non-metals are not sonorous. When the non-metals are hammered, they doesn't produce the sound. And the fifth physical characteristic is the non-metals are less reactive. The non-metals they show less reactivity in comparison with the metals in nature. These are also the reactive, but their non-metals reactivity is lesser in comparison with the chemical reactivity of the metals. And sixth is the non-metals are the poor conductors of heat and electricity. Non-metals they show the poor conductivity in between the good conductors and the bad conductors. So that is called as poor conductivity. The non-metals these shows the poor conduction of heat and electricity. So these are the main physical characteristics of the non-metals. And let us study now what are the examples of the non-metals. The main examples of the non-metals are examples for non-metals. That is carbon, sulfur, phosphorus, oxygen, nitrogen. So like this, the examples are listed for the non-metals. And these are the physical characteristics of the non-metals. Whatever the physical characteristics of the metals and the physical characteristics of the non-metals mainly comes in the exam, and you have to by the physical characteristics of the metals and non-metals. A 2-mark and 3-mark question will come on this. Okay, with this I will conclude my today's class. And whatever the chemical characteristics of the metals and non-metals, I will explain in my next coming class. With this, I will stop my today's class. Thank you.